Hello dear students, welcome to Devika's Commerce and Management Academy. In the previous class, I gave you introduction about financial management and its functions. Got an understanding? Today in depth we will see financial management. So that is in the form of scope. What is the scope of financial management? Scope means different areas where we have to focus, where we have to consider. So that we call it as a scope. Scope means how do we understand the scope means on certain areas. On certain areas if you focus, these are the areas we have to concentrate, we have to focus more and we have to be careful. So those areas we call it as a scope of the financial management. So those areas are divided into total 7 points, scope of the financial management. What are the 7 points? First point is that evaluation of financial needs. Evaluation of financial needs. How much finance is needed? How much funds are required? That evaluation is first important aspect. When you evaluate about the finance, I need a finance of suppose say 2 crores or otherwise 10 crores. So how do you evaluate? This evaluation depends on the present and future needs. Are you getting it? So this evaluation depends on the present and future needs. Just if you see present only, suppose say I need this much, if you focus on that, what about future? Once again you have to plan. So that is why when you go for evaluation of the funds, you have to be careful about the present and future funds. And when you are focusing on present and future funds, you have to remember one more important aspect. That is short-term funds and also long-term funds. After this, you have to focus on the short and long-term. Long-term funds, short-term funds, within 1 year you need investment. Long-term funds above 1 year, maybe 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, it can be anything more than 1 year, we call it as a long-term investment. So that is why when you wanted to evaluate about the funds, you need to remember 2 points. First point is that present and future required funds. And how much short funds are required, how much is long-term funds are required. And when you have the clarity of these two, you will decide that I want funds of this much. In finance, first aspect, we need to get the funds. How do we get the funds? If you focus on this, we will come to know. So there you are in this point, you are deciding that I want funds. How much is required? How much funds are needed? Once if you understand this evaluation of financial needs or financial funds, then you can focus on the second aspect, that is choosing an appropriate source of finance. How to get the source? What are the sources to get my funds? There are many sources, like you can issue shares, you can invite the public to buy the shares, and you can issue debentures, and also you can take loan from financial institutions. Loan from financial institutions, there are private institutions, public institutions also, and sometimes from the bank. So from where we can get the fund. So that is, you have to focus in the next aspect, choosing an appropriate source of finance. So once if you decide that this is the right way, now I wanted to get my funds from this way, through the shareholders. How many shareholders are there? Preference shareholders and equity shareholders. And how much I have to issue for preference shares, and how much I have to issue for the equity shares. So that distribution also you need to be careful. Okay, and how much I have to issue the debentures, and how much loan I have to take from the bank. So from where? From what are the sources available? Without much delay, without much struggle, easily available sources you are going to identify here. Choose an appropriate source of finance. Once if you know that these are the sources I am having, next you have to focus determining the structure of capital. So what is this structure of capital? In the last class only, in introduction class I gave you. Structure of the capital means, suppose I need a funds of some say 50 lakh. Now how do I get 50 lakh? That structure I have to plan it. Out of 50 lakh, say 30 lakh I wanted to get it from the equity shares, then 10 lakh from the debentures by issuing the debentures, and 10 lakh by taking loan, okay, for 30 lakh from the equity shareholders, 10 lakh from the debenture holders by selling the debentures, and 10 lakh from the bank loan. Like that structure, how do you want to accumulate, how do you want to get the funds, that is determining the structure of capital. Once if you know that, then after that you have to focus on the selecting and deciding the pattern of investment. How do I invest? Two ways are there to invest. You have to, whenever you wanted to invest, two things you have to remember: long term investment and short term investments. Long term investment means purchasing the assets and where your investment is blocking for more than 1 year, so long term. And whenever I wanted to go for long term, that is very careful. You need to be very careful, because this long term investment is irreversible for some period. So you need to be very careful. So what you have to do, there are different kinds of methodologies to invest in long term. So those investment methodologies, everything will be deciding into the capital budgeting. And also in the opportunity cost analysis. In these two aspects we will be deciding that how many long term investments are there, where to invest, how much to invest, if I invest this much, how much I am going to get, when I am going to get. All these things we'll be discussing here, okay. And that is about the selection and deciding the pattern of the investment. Then after that, next point is appropriate cash management. If cash is managed properly, maximum management of the organization is okay. Who will manage the cash? Finance manager. So this finance manager should have a proper understanding about the cash management. Generally this cash is divided into different parts, like few cash is for long term investment, few cash is for short term investments, few cash is for the daily wise transactions, like different parts they'll be dividing it. And he must have a proper understanding, finance manager or finance accounting, whoever may be handling this cash transactions, he must have a proper understanding about cash flow statement. CFS means cash flow statement, how to prepare this, how much cash we have, how much is inflow, how much is outflow. There is a separate chapter for cash flow statement. This already I have completed in our channel, you can just check it out from the playlist, okay. So he must have an understanding about the cash flow statement. In cash flow statement, inflows, how much cash is coming inside, outflows, cash outflows, how much cash is going outside, and what is the synchronization between the inflows and outflows. So that will be discussing, that should have a proper understanding by the finance manager. Not only the cash flow statement, and also there is another concept, that is getting it, cash budget. Yes, cash budget preparation. In the management accounting, managerial accounting subject playlist is there I have already covered cash budget, preparation of cash budget also. How do you prepare 3 years cash budget, last year, present year, like this, how do you prepare the cash budget, okay. So in both the aspects he must have a proper understanding. So if he is having proper understanding, then managing the cash is very easy. So that's about appropriate cash management. Then after that, practice financial controls. How do we control the finance? Okay, we came to know that we have to evaluate the funds and also how much funds are required, and capital structure we came to know, and also next deciding the pattern of investment and cash management also I got it. Then after that, finance control, how to control the finance. Controlling finance is one of the important aspect. There are many ways to control the finance. For example, ROI, return on investment. If I invest say 2 crores, how much return I am going to get every year? First year how much I am going to get, second year, third year, like this. Return on investment, ROI, return on investment. So this is one aspect where we can control the cash, where we can control the finance. And second one is the budgetary control. Budgetary control techniques also there. ABC analysis we have seen, always better control, just in time, stock, in what do you say, issuing of cash stock, and also how do we control the cash, LIFO, FIFO methods are there. Everything comes under the budgetary control. And in the same way, ratio analysis also another method of controlling the finance. Ratio analysis also you'll come to know different ratios. Every ratio is indicating something. If you know the meaning of that, if you understand the concept, then automatically it's very easy to have an understanding about the finance aspect. Then once if you get an understanding, then easy to control. Okay. In the same way, break-even analysis, BEA, break-even analysis. This also you might have heard it in economics we have, and also in cost accounting we have, managerial accounting we have this concept break-even analysis. When do we get the break-even analysis? I've started my business. Break-even analysis means no profit, no loss. After how many years I'm going to get this? Then after that next everything is profit. So these are the concept. If you have an understanding, then it's very easy to control the finance. Are you getting it? Next, last thing is that appropriate use of surplus. We have acquired some funds, appropriate funds we have taken, and we know how to invest also. Everything is okay, but sometimes you'll have surplus. Say I need 5 crores of, I thought of 5 crores of investment is required. So I have acquired 5 crores, I have raised 5 crores of fund, but at present in my business I am using only 4 crores. What about this 1 crore? Surplus, extra. We can't return it back, but you have to utilize it. You have to retain the amount, surplus amount in the business itself only. So that appropriation use of surplus, where to invest, how to utilize it, and how much invest I am going to get. So that is, we call it as a surplus. Management of surplus, appropriate utilization of surplus. These are all the areas of scope of the financial management only. Not just simply functions of management, investments I have to do, and then after that capital structure, then dividend policy. No. It's a very vast subject. That is why you need to know each and every aspect, theory point of view, important. Then after that we can go to the practicals. Are you getting it? Next class we'll see a few more theory topics, then after that we'll go to the practicals. By the way, did you check out our playlist? There are many subjects which already covered. Everything is free of cost. Use it, and don't hesitate to forward these videos to your juniors, seniors, classmates, whoever it may be. Okay, stay connected, practice well. Good luck.